We are live. Who is the bigger star in MMA? Ronda Rousey or Ilia Topuria? That is today's question. We have a very, very big show for you today. A lot of news, a lot of things happened. Mike Perry did an interview talking about what he's going to do to Nate Diaz. Ronda Rousey went in on the UFC. She went scorched earth on the UFC lawyer, Hunter Campbell. She said that he was, she said a whole bunch of stuff. Jake Paul went on Ariel Helwani, and as big of a dork as I think Ariel is, Ariel's starting to grow on me, guys. And Jake Paul had some interesting things to say about the UFC White House card versus the Netflix card that Jake is promoting with Ronda Rousey. We're going to talk about Strickland's big win and what nobody's realizing about the Strickland win. Let me pull up the chat. I see people chatting already. Let's go, guys, man. I appreciate you. If you guys are in the building, then shout out to you. I am going to get started. One second. Let me take a sip of this soda and we will get right into it. If you've not subscribed already, only subscribe if you're a real one, man. We don't need nerds, dweebs, geeks, right? We need real motherfuckers in the chat. All right. So, okay. We got Arpon the Don saying, yeah, he's a dork. We got Hamza. I want to see what Rhonda is going to say about Kamzat on the press conference. Ooh, man, she said that she's going to bust her, what'd she say? Bust her load? What did she say on Ariel? She said she's going to shoot her load. She said, Ariel, don't make me shoot my load. And so she says she's got a lot of stuff. She wants to get dressed up, makeup on, tight fitting dress, and go on to the Netflix press conference and talk some big shit. Ariel Helwani, to his credit, got her to say some very, very controversial stuff about the UFC. We're going to get into all that, guys. Make sure you check out Fight Circus, home of the Freak Show fights. And make sure your notifications are on because we go live at random ass times. Also, man, we're about to crack 500 subscribers. So shout out to you guys. The other day I posted on Instagram. I said, hey, join the 111 club, which meant get in before there's 111 subscribers. Now we're going to crack 500 today. So you guys were in first. Winners win. Let's go. And I've been seeing some crazy ass comments. So guys, if you're a real one, feel free to clap the cheeks of any hater in the comments. Let me pull this up too, man. Speaking of real ones, get your real one tees, guys. Get your real one tees. Buy the merch. Let's go. If you're a real one, let the world know. And then, on the back, man, King David MMA. We got it. We got it for you. It's in the store. I'm going to drop the store in the chat. Let me see if I can do this myself. Okay, guys. Last time we try to have somebody else drop it in the chat from a different account. Like, I thought that was the way to do it, right? Let me see if I can chat in here with you guys. Did this work? Absolutely. Oh, what? We got hyperlinks. We got hyperlinks. How do I pin this freaking thing? Can I pin this to the top? Pin message. Boom. Okay, so that's pinned. So those are the links. Make sure you send your coach to Studio Millions. You want your coach to be successful in life and help them live the dream. If you help them live the dream, you're more likely to attract the dream into your life. I really believe that. I'm a bit of a hippie. I got good vibes only behind me, and we like to stay positive around here. Okay. Wait, what? Get your shit. I don't know what it's posting, but anyways, so it appears to be multiple posting from my account. I'm going to shut out of that. Let me see if I can read the chat over here. All right, and we will get right into it. Okay, so hot take right off the jump. Hot take. I believe in the debate of who's the bigger star, Ronda Rousey or Ilia Topuria, the UFC 2-division world champion. Stick with me, guys. We're going to get deep into this. Ronda Rousey is the bigger star. Ronda Rousey's the bigger star, and the Netflix card is the bigger card than the UFC White House card. And Jake Paul had a great point about this. He said if you took the two cards for who the fans want to see, the name value of the fighters, and you removed the venue, the White House, they have the better card. Netflix does. Jake's right, guys. I was on the 10-7 podcast again earlier today with my teammate Justin James, and they have a great podcast. If you guys want a technical breakdown of shit, they get more technical than I do on this channel. But we got into some technical details about Strickland and Hamzat. We both coach at Extreme Couture. We're both pro fighters. I'm a pro MMA champion, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Justin's fought in the UFC. So we give a different perspective. And on that channel, we were getting very, very in the weeds with the techniques. But I was explaining on that podcast that we're balls deep in this, guys. We're in the mix. We're the MMA hardcores. I fucking fight. Like, I'm all the way in, right? Shout out to my bracelet that my girlfriend made me. Hey. But yeah, so I'm all the way in. You guys are all the way in. I know, Hamza, you do the MMA like historian channel with Mike Davis, right? Like, I'm talking balls deep. People who are on the amateur team at Extreme Couture are in the chat. Felony Charles Bennett, MMA legend, is in the chat. The dude's got like 90 professional fights. So we're in our own bubble. But let me ask you this, guys. If you went to Whole Foods and saw a woman in yoga pants with a loose-fitting yoga tee and whatever, you know the style that the chicks at Whole Foods wear, like a 35-year-old woman, she's shopping for fucking hummus and bananas or whatever the fuck she's getting. And you asked her, who's Ilia Topuria? She would have no fucking idea. But if you ask her who Ronda Rousey or Gina Carano is, especially Gina, because Gina is like a full-on actress at this point, most women are going to have some knowledge of Ronda. Most women are going to have some knowledge of Gina Carano. Gina Carano went viral. She got canceled from Star Wars. Plus, the target audience for the masses, the people that don't follow MMA, is a bunch of people who watch Netflix. They watch Love Island or whatever show's on there. These women are listening to crime podcasts while they sleep. They're listening to whodunit murder mysteries, and then they wonder why they're scared all the time. That's another subject. But if you went to Whole Foods or you went to Walmart and talked to just a 40-year-old woman with some kids at Walmart, they would much more resonate with Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano than Strickland and Hamzat. The average person does not fight. They have no idea of what fighting is. If you give them a technical battle, they don't even understand what they're looking at. But if you give them Ronda Rousey wearing all black and, she's wearing pants and she's got on a shirt and, she's strutting and she's badass, that's every woman that they've seen in any movie for the last 10 or 20 years. A badass girl that'll kick your ass. That's what they've been watching. Every Marvel movie, there's a badass girl that can kick ass. If you are a single dude and you go out and you're like attractive to a woman, her friend will literally tell you, be nice to my friend or I'm going to kick your ass, right? That like girl power, kick your ass energy, that's the masses. And that's who this Netflix fight is appealing to. So while we're going to say, hey man, it's going to be Ronda going in there, throwing like a hook into a clinch, pummeling an underhook, throwing Gina Carano on her head, bouncing her off the canvas, spinning to a far side arm lock, or even jumping on a near side arm lock, breaking her arm, hyperextending her arm. It's going to be brutal. It's going to look gruesome. Gina's going to tap. They're going to be friends. They're going to congratulate each other. Ronda's going to say some stuff on the post-fight speech about the UFC and call out the pay inequities and call out women's sports. And she's going to completely appeal to the narrative of women sports should be equal to men's sports, which is a huge community. She's going to appeal to the narrative of like, women are badass. They can kick guys' ass. That whole narrative. She's going to appeal to everybody who's like, hey, we work as hard as someone else. We should get paid as hard as as much as someone else. Even though, for instance, the WNBA is hemorrhaging money and those athletes are not making the company money. They still want to get paid because they're playing the same game as LeBron. It's like, it's not even close. You ladies are not selling jerseys. You're not selling merch. Nobody's tuning in. They can't sell sponsorship. They can't sell ads. But that narrative plays extremely hard. And when Jake Paul puts his marketing message behind the two, and guys, you can get upset if you want, the two biggest stars in MMA on the biggest platform possible, it will lead to the biggest MMA event in history. And we don't have to like it. We don't have to agree with it. We can be MMA purists. But to deny that reality is going to be a very, very shocking, upsetting reality check when it actually happens and they break world record viewership numbers. Anyways, let me check the chat. The chat's popping off right now. Okay. AZK says, what's up? Hey, man, I appreciate you subscribing. I saw last night you said you were going to subscribe to the channel. So shout out for subscribing and coming back, man. Appreciate that. Hopping in the chat. That is fire. Let me get one. Yeah, man. Oh, wait. This one? You talking about this one? This real one? You talking about the real one, bro? Hey, man, hit the link. Hit the link. All right. So it did less numbers than UFC, which did 5 mil. What did less numbers? Ronda's much bigger than ILIA. It's not even close. Yes, exactly. Right. So people are going by like who's the better martial arts athlete or practitioner in MMA. And to make Ronda's case, someone can even say that she's the better. Guys, to make Ronda's case, someone could even say that Ronda is the better martial artist than ILIA Topuria. And I know that sounds crazy, but she's an Olympic medalist and a UFC world champion. So she's a two-sport athlete, guys. Like, if we're just going on stats, as crazy as that stat sounds, Ronda can make a case she is the better martial artist than ILIA Topuria. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just saying she can make a case. And the Netflix one is going to do way more numbers than the UFC. Francis is a bigger star than Ilya. Okay, that's it. That's an interesting take. Is Francis Ngannou a bigger star than Ilia Topuria? That's interesting. He did fight Tyson Fury and dropped him. And I scored that fight for Francis. Man, you might be right with that. Francis, especially like worldwide, because he's African. He speaks French. He lives in America. He was the UFC world champion at heavyweight, which is a huge deal. He was kind of borderline beefing with John Jones, who's well known in the MMA community. He also dropped the heavyweight world champion Tyson Fury, put him on his ass, sat him down. Yeah, man, you're onto something, bro. Everyone knows Nate Diaz. Yeah, everybody knows Nate. Mike Perry's coming to bang. Ronda was a big star in WWE too. Yeah, she cross-promotional star. Biggest female star in pro wrestling. Yep. I'll be there on Saturday in LA for the Netflix card. Bro, is it this Saturday? That's right. It is. Holy crap. We are like less than a week away from history, guys. We are less than a week away from freaking history. So there's my unpopular take of the day where people are going to drop comments and say I'm a sellout or a dumbass or I don't know what I'm talking about. Meanwhile, I'm a literal MMA expert, right? Like I coach at the best gym on the planet, guys. And as much as the techniques and the tactics of MMA matter in the actual fight between the two fighters, dude, to the casual fan, they just want to see somebody swinging. They want to see somebody swanging haymakers. That's what they want to see, right? So, like, even this, as an example, I've got 9 professional wins and 9 submissions. I've got friends of mine that don't fight. They don't even know what happened. They're like, dude, did you win on like a technicality? I just saw the guy trying to punch you and then the fight was over. And I'm like, oh yeah, I broke his arm. I broke that man's arm. And they're like, what? I didn't even see it. They don't know what an arm bar is. Okay, as an example. So I cornered in Oregon this past weekend. Asa, he's on the amateur team. He got his nose broken. And he went on to win the fight. And the dude was talking mad shit to him before the fight. He was posting on Instagram, trying to aura farm. Hey, pussy, I'm going to beat you up. I see the big guys like Sean Strickland talking shit, so I'm going to talk shit. And then I think I'm going to get the same result. And like Asa can wrestle. And Asa can fight. And Asa's a dog. And man, Asa will come up trying to get rounds with me when I'm at the amateur practice. You know what I mean? And I'm a pro MMA champion, black belt, right? So he's trying to get the smoke. He wants the toughest rounds. And so he goes in there, gets his nose broken, drop, fights back, gets on the guy, puts the boots in. And it's just boom, boom, just beating on him. And because the guy had called him a bitch and a pussy before the fight, he's like, hey, man, who's a bitch now, man? Boom, boom, hitting him. Boom. He's like, you better not tap. You better not quit. He's like, you better not lose to a pussy, bitch. Boom, just hitting him. Boom, right? So then I corner my teammate, Chris Ruffin. Asa wins. We're walking out. Chris Ruffin, boom, separates his shoulder 30 seconds in the fight. We're at the hospital. And the group of people next to us who are like between 20 and 25 years old, because there's a group of 4 of them, one of the girls goes, hey, what'd you do to your arm? And he goes, oh, I was in a cage fight. And the other girl goes, what's a cage fight? And then the girl who asked goes, yeah, what's a cage fight? And then one of the dudes is trying to explain it. And then the other girl's like peeping what this dude's explaining. She goes, yeah, it's when you fight in a cage. But they don't know what it is. They literally don't know what a cage fight is. So we're over here like UFC is the biggest thing ever. It's awesome. Everybody knows about UFC. Yeah, at the gym we go to where we train UFC guys, everybody knows. But the average person that you're going to sit next to, the what is it, Gen Z at the hospital, they don't even know. There were multiple people who did not know what a cage fight was. But they know what a badass female who can kick your ass that wears all black and she's got tight pants and she's got like a combat shirt vest type thing on and she's got a hat and she goes in there and she kicks ass. They know what that is. So when you present them with Ronda and Gina, you've got 2 of those and those girls are going to fight. And then they're going to be like a little bit more intense than most women. And they're going to be a little bit more postured and a little more confident. And women are going to find that aspirational. And women are going to tune into the fight. There's a lot of simps out there. They want to see 2 hot chicks rolling around. There's a lot of white knights out there. They could be hot at any age, whatever, right? Like there's an entire demographic of people that don't know shit about the UFC that are going to tune in. Anyways, let me read the chat. Chat's popping off. I'll be there on Saturday. Is extremely popular in France, whole country. Netflix card. Is that the dude that's fighting my former teammate, Kenny Cross? And Kenny Cross is going to pull off the upset. Is that the French guy to whom you are referring? 10 million pay-per-view, but we need MVP, so there's more competition. I agree. Yeah, this is excellent. The Netflix card is great for competition. When you guys say MMA, they'll say Conor or Ronda. Yeah, those are the 2 people that people know. Some people will know Brock Lesnar from back in the day. And other than that, they don't know anything. And if you say UFC, they might or might not know. And if you say MMA, they really don't know. All media will cover it left and right. Yeah, so that's the other thing. We got to understand that the entire global infrastructure, for the most part, is set up to promote this type of narrative, right? Women's empowerment. Girls can do anything guys can do. Women are badass. Guys are whatever. We're not going to get into all the details, but that's the narrative, right? Like the woman should be the superhero. The woman should be the badass vigilante, and the dude should be like the scared guy, like, please protect me from the robbers. And she's like, I got this, honey. Stand back. Boom, boom, boom. And then she's like beating up 4 attackers at once. That's what the narrative promotes. So when the narrative gets behind, and if you guys want to get deeper on this subject, I did a video called They Scared Joe, and it's aliens pointing at Joe. And Joe Rogan says he was visited by aliens in a dream. And as crazy as that sound, we get into thought forms and intelligence consciousness and how that certain thought forms want to charge themselves with the energy of humans. And even though they're not visible, they Some people would say they exist. So if you want to get weird, go watch that video. But let's say hypothetically, we don't even get that deep on this, but we just get into this is the narrative. It is what's acceptable within the Overton window, which means the acceptable set of ideas and speech that as a polite society we're supposed to engage in without offending anyone. That like you can't go to the dinner party for the holidays and say that like, no, there's some differences between men and women. Like that would start a problem at a lot of households saying that. And so that entire narrative is what the media promotes and pushes and feeds on. And is for whatever reason that we don't understand, that's what they want everybody to agree to, whether they believe it or not. And so when that narrative gets behind Rhonda and Gina, and this whole week they're doing media and interviews, and then channels that never covered MMA are covering them, and it's like, oh, it's a empowering message, and they're not even covering it as like a fight or a sports competition. They're covering it as like an empowering message of like aspiration, like a reinforcement of the narrative, like we were right. These women are badass, and these two prove everything we've been saying. And Netflix is into this, and Jake understands this. Jake is a fucking genius marketer. Whatever people want to say about him, he's cringe, he fucking whatever. He shouldn't be boxing. All of that. The dude understands this. He understands the tone of the population. He understands where the power structures are aligning themselves, what direction things are headed. He understands that there's a huge fighter pay situation going on. He understands that there was a huge and continuing WNBA pay situation going on. He understands that he can get a lot of huge, huge partners on board with him by doing a full-on women's boxing league. These powers already exist and want things to move in a direction. And Jake understands by giving them a product that they want to promote, he then gets promoted. Guys, so anyways, that's a little bit behind the scenes, backstage vibe on what's really going on. All right. All media will cover it. The purse are going to be crazy. Guys like Jason Jackson on the undercard will become superstars. The first 10 fights are free on YouTube. What? Okay. So it's free on YouTube and then it's going to Netflix. That's freaking awesome. All right. So the White House card is going to be a great card, guys. The UFC White House card. I have every belief that it's going to be great. I'm even to the point where I've decided to pick Justin Gaethje. And I know he's the underdog, and I know Ilya is the man, and Ilya is the best fighter we've seen since probably DJ. I'm gonna pick Justin Gaethje. Why? Because the thought form, America, is like moving in a direction, and I'm like, you know what, man? I believe in this thought form. Let's hope America wins at the White House. So I'm picking Justin Gaethje to KO Ilia Topuria stiff in a violent upset. Nobody sees it coming. Justin Gaethje's going to pull it out of his ass, and then he's going to set the gloves down as the UFC undisputed champion. The F-16s are going to go off overhead with the red, white, and blue smoke. Justin Gaethje holding a belt, no gloves on, gloves in front of him. He's retiring as the champion, goes off into the sunset. UFC tries to get him back, and he says, nah, bro, I ain't coming back, man. I have a storybook ending to my career, and I'm happy with that. That's what I'm picking right now, guys. Ronda also went in on the UFC lawyer, Hunter Campbell. She said that he essentially filleted people. She said to get in the position he's in. She said that he is there not because he is good. She said he got there because he failed upwards, because his dad was the lawyer for the Fertitta brothers and Dana White. And when Ronda was in the company. He was just an intern. And now he is being chauvinistic by bringing up the fact that Ronda and Gina are older. And he's not sure how much actual interest they could generate in them as a viable martial arts product, which the UFC is. The UFC is not as sensational as the Netflix card. So they're looking for more viable fights for the actual fight fan. Now, I believe they could have put Ronda Gina on the right White House card. That would have been a great fight, like a historic thing. Two women fighting at the White House. You like all that. Both American and American's gonna win. Right? It would have been a good thing for them. I think that they could have, but the White House card probably has a budget that they don't want to exceed. Ronda and Gina probably want way more money than Hunter Campbell believes that they are worth as a ongoing product, especially considering Ronda says she does not want to fight ever again after this. In fact, her husband forbids her from fighting, and she is happy with mom life and she wants to have more children and she wants to put MMA behind her. Well, they are probably not going to roll out the big bucks for that speech. Like if you come to your employer and go, hey, listen, I want a raise. I want you to give me a bunch of money. And then right after you do, I want to perform like one task for the company. And then I want to quit and retire on all the money that you're going to give me in this raise. And so this raise isn't actually like a good faith investment in the future of us being partners together. This is a payday for me. And then I'm going to bounce. Like, how would that go over with your boss? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm fortunate. I don't have a boss, but like, I would imagine most bosses would not be receptive to that. They wouldn't be like excited about that. They wouldn't be like, oh, wait, you want us to break the bank, roll out the red carpet, add a couple zeros to the check, give you all the money. We take all the risk. You keep all the money, and then you fucking bounce on us. So maybe that's why they weren't feeling the fight. But I would have liked to seen it at the White House regardless. And speaking of the Netflix card, Jake Paul, who I am a big fan of, and another hot take that the majority of people are not ready to hear. I'm a fan of Jake Paul's boxing. And I'm not trolling, I'm not rage baiting. Some people say that I rage bait with this. No, I'm able to hold two thoughts at one time. The dude's good at social media, YouTube. He did Disney, right? Like, so he's an entertainer, and he can also be good at boxing, which is a skill anyone can learn, especially someone who's extremely athletic like Jake and has the access to the best trainers on the planet and a completely open schedule to where he can schedule as much training as he wants every day and potentially train 3-4 hours a day with the best coaches and sparring partners and team and recovery on the planet. Those two things can both be true. He's good at YouTube and he's good at boxing. I know it's hard to process, right? But unfortunately, Jake Paul's doctor is now saying Jake should never fight again. Jake Paul's doctor believes the risks are too high and that after this Anthony Joshua fight where Jake has had his jaw broken in two places and unfortunately he's like lost teeth and needs dental implants because you do not play boxing. It is not a game. It is a combat sport, and it is a violent interaction. In a lot of ways, a lot more dangerous than MMA. While an MMA fighter is more dangerous to an attacker or to an actual other person, the rule set of boxing is more dangerous to each individual fighter because you're just getting hit in the head, right? Like, how many headshots are they taking? Versus like Hamzat versus Kevin Holland. Hamzat shoots in, puts him in a darce, chokes him, gets him out of there. Okay. Nobody took like damage. But in boxing, 10-round decision, 12-round decision, people are getting cracked in the head the whole time. So it's actually quite a dangerous sport. And Jake Paul's doctor does not want him fighting again. In fact, a lot of Jake Paul's business partners do not want Jake fighting again, says Jake, right? And so they want They want to secure the bag. They want to protect their investment. They want Jake to stay safe and healthy so they can continue to print cash off his name, likeness, partnerships with him, etc. I think Jake's going to fight again. I think Jake is going to fight again. I believe Jake will fight the winner. I know, guys. I know. I'm not afraid to make a shocking prediction. I went on 10-7 podcast. There were two different 10-7 podcasts. They did a podcast together. I went on there and I said Sean Strickland is going to bounce his balls off Khamzat's head. I said that. I said he's going to win. I'm 100% sure. I train at the same gym as him. I'm there for the practices. I see what the work he's putting in. I'm on the pro team, so his practice ends right when my practice starts. I see what he's doing. I see the work he's putting in. I see the guys he's training with. I see the Russian wrestlers, the Dagestanis, the Chechen wrestlers, all the wrestlers in there. I see how he does. I'm literally trying to tell these people, he's going to win. And they're like, nah, man. Khalil Roundtree said Chimaev's a problem for anybody. And I'm like, oh, dude, what are we doing? What are we doing? They're like, Brendan Schaub said he's never seen training like this before. Okay, cool, guys. That's cool. I'm literally there at Extreme Couture every day. Strickland's going to win. Oh, but Khamzat choked him out. Guys, I'm literally telling you, Strickland and Khamzat, Strickland did well, and in positional rounds where Khamzat starts with a body lock and an over-under on his back, that's what they're talking about when they're referring to Khamzat choked Strickland. Strickland made him quit, guys. Like, I'm telling you, and anyways. So, despite the fact that that was a hot take at the time, I was certain, right? And here's another thing. In this one, do not have direct insider information yet. But I have a strong feeling, and I have someone who would have a direct line of communication that the next fight will be Jake Paul versus the winner of Nate Diaz or Mike Perry in MMA. Jake Paul's MMA debut versus the winner of Nate Diaz or Mike Perry. And it sounds fucking out there. It sounds crazy. It sounds impossible. That's the fight that this fight is building up to. That's why this fight is on the card. This fight is to build Jake Paul's MMA debut. Take it or leave it, guys. You don't have to believe me. You can come back to the channel. I'll tell you I told you so. I'm not above saying I told you so. You come back to the channel, drop in the comments. And if I'm wrong, guys, you can roast me. I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong. So there no roasting to be had. All right. Let me read the chat, y'all. They get 20 million on YouTube alone. Adam Carolla just had Randy Couture on the show. He'll be commentating. Gina, Rana, dude, I saw Misha at the gym today. I didn't get a chance to talk to Misha. I was in between practices. I was doing Justin James practice upstairs in the fucking sauna room, which is like 90 to 100 degrees, and we just wrestle rounds on rounds on. It's brutal, right? And so you come out of there, you're literally dripping sweat like you hopped out of a pool, like covered in water. And I was running to grab a towel to go shower to then go into no-gi with Coach Rich Castro, which is the advanced no-gi, and Rich Castro's a fucking wizard. And then I taught with Coach Juan, we taught the MMA class for civilians after that, and I didn't have a chance to talk to Misha, but I would be next time I see her, I'm going to find out what she thinks about this card. So I will probably see her tomorrow or the next day. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to give you guys the hot take about what Misha Tate said directly from Misha, because that's how we do it around here. If Ilya loses his contract, because one fight left, so Netflix will sign him. If Ilya loses, he does the contracts extend. Wait, his contract extends as long as he's champion. But if he loses, then Netflix will sign him. Wow. Jake will fight Nate Diaz. What if Nate loses? Will he fight Mike Perry? He's already boxed Mike Perry. He likes to do business. Well, I guess he's boxed both of them, right? So, HHH Custom Knives. Oh, okay. We got the custom knives. First, like, and be sure to share this stream. Let's get some eyes on this guy's page. Hey, appreciate you. Yeah, yeah. Let's do that. Let's freaking do that. And go buy your knives from my guy. I have no idea who this is, but shout out to you, bro. And I mean, I'm assuming they're good knives, right? And so like there's a whole thing, especially like John Danaher, when he gives a belt promotion, he gives a knife, right? And so the knife is a symbol of like steel put in fire and beat with a hammer and forged, right? And hardened and then sharpened. And now it's a weapon. But it wouldn't be a weapon without being beat, heated up, sharpened, and going through the fire, going through the trauma of the hammer, going through, or the mallet, going through all of that. Right. And that's the only way that it becomes a dangerous weapon over time. It gets sharpened to precision. And so that's a metaphor for martial arts, right? Like, you're not going to be a weapon if you don't go through the fire. You're not going to be a weapon if you don't get, if you're not ready to get beat on. You're not going to be a weapon if you don't sharpen your technique with precision. So, yeah, there's a big metaphor between martial arts and knives. And yeah, John Danaher is the best grappling coach on the planet, to my understanding, for no-gi grappling. And yeah, he agrees. So Mike Perry could, but Francis too. You're saying that Jake Paul would fight Francis in MMA. I think he would say that. I think doing that would be but the dude's a fucking nut job, man. Would he actually do that? I don't think he needs to do that. I think that he can get just as many eyeballs fighting Nate if Nate wins. Adam Carolla, who doesn't talk about MMAs, talk about Gina and Ronda, not the White House card. Yeah, that's what like every, let's call them casual, every and entertainment fan, right? The people that watch Netflix, they don't watch UFC, but if the entertainment thing of the week is Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather, they watch that because that's the event of the week, right? So until there is an event of the week in MMA that supersedes the MMA fan base, that is bigger than the sport, they're not tuning in, right? They'll watch whatever the fuck, the Dancing with the Stars finale. They'll watch the Love Island freaking season opener. Oh my gosh, so and so's back. What? That's a shocker. Oh my god. They'll watch. I don't even know if Kardashians have like. I don't. I'm out of touch with all that shit. I don't. I don't watch almost anything. I'm like meditating in the backyard, doing martial arts, spending time with my girlfriend, and like listening to UFO podcasts. That's what I'm on. Yeah, man. I've been hammering custom knives for over 20 years. Love the metaphor. Yeah, man. It's I rock with that metaphor as well. You know what? In fact, tomorrow at amateur practice, when we give the mat chat to the amateurs, I'm going to talk about that. That's going to be my mat chat speech tomorrow. Let's freaking go. All right, what's next on the agenda? So, all right, guys, question for the chat. Question for the chat. Question for the chat. Who should Sean Strickland fight next? We're on this topic right now of big shows, big cards, big events. Imavov? Are we saying Sean Strickland versus Imavov again? He already beat him on 2 weeks' notice, coming off the couch during like Christmas and New Year's, eating freaking honey baked ham and turkey legs. Got up off the couch and beat him. And now we're talking. We're gonna have the rematch. He just had the biggest fight of the freaking year. When I was at this event in Portland, it was at a Indian reservation casino, right? And there were a lot of people there that had nothing to do with the fights that were happening. But I'll tell you what, when we were getting an Uber, when we were walking past the Uber line because we had a rental car, the people that were getting Ubers, like they were watching Strickland versus Hamzat on Paramount Plus on their phone. You know what I mean? Like this was a big fight in the MMA world. Like the casual MMA fan, I don't mean the casual fan in general, like the entertainment fan. I'm talking about like here's entertainment fan, people that watch whatever is the thing of the day or the thing of the week. Then MMA casuals, and we're like the hardcores, like way down here, but like in this like tight like knit of like ILIA Topura is the best fighter, right? Like they're like who? So then do you mean Armand? He streams with Neon. Oh, he hangs out with Nina Drama. Oh my gosh, yeah, I was watching Kick and oh yeah, is that the guy that eats all the cheeseburgers? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the casuals. They were watching Strickland. They were watching Strickland. So I was like, dude, this fight must be huge. Because to me, it's huge because I trained with the dude. You know what I mean? I've sparred him 3 times. It was fucking horrible. I don't want to do it again. But we're definitely under the same banner, right? And so that's why I was excited about the fight. But to see like people just in the Uber line watching the fight was pretty cool. Imavov, because he's high in France, and all Sean has basically are rematches. Yeah, so who else could he fight? He could fight DDP in a rematch. He could fight Imavov in a rematch. Did he ever fight Brendan Allen? Did Sean Strickland fight Brendan Allen? If not, that's a fight I'd like to see. Not that it's going to be the most challenging fight for Strickland. Obviously, any fight at that level is going to be fairly challenging. But I like that fight because they were already talking shit about each other. So I like the smoke. I like the drama. I like the getting in each other's face at the press conference. Are they going to fight? Is it going to pop off? I'm into all that. You know, some people are more MMA purists and they're like, we don't need that. We need the guys to just thank their coaches and their team. And I'm like, listen, bro, I grew up on fucking pro wrestling. My uncle's Hulk Hogan. I like the theatrics. And again, the ability to hold two things in your head at the same time. I train every day at the best gym on the planet, and I'm sharpening my technique every day. And at the same time, I like the theatrics. So they don't have to be mutually exclusive. Let me read the chat. I'm not saying that the theatrics should replace the tactics and techniques and the sharpening of one's skills. People misinterpret that. They think because you're into the Jake Paulery of it all, right, that you somehow forgot about the. No, it shouldn't replace it. It's an addition to it. Yeah, Sean beat Brendan Allen. Okay. Yeah, yeah. So middleweight is cooked then. Middleweight is absolutely cooked. And there's not really anybody that can come up from welterweight. Like Ian Machado Gary probably has a title fight next, or potentially a fight with Conor if the petition to not make Conor versus Max goes through. He's not going up to fight Sean and get beat up. So who can Sean possibly fight? They're probably pressuring Hamzat for a rematch. The powers that be are probably like, hey man, we need you to rematch this guy who did numbers. I know you don't want to cut the weight again. You got to cut the weight again. And then if Hamzat were to somehow pull it off, which I don't think he would, they'd probably not even promote the trilogy. Because I believe the UFC wants to move on from Sean Strickland. Personally. And that's not, Sean never told me anything like that. I haven't talked to the dude about it. I don't know. I just, from watching the way that people react to him, it just seems like the UFC and the powers that be in the UFC are not over the top Strickland fans like the fucking entire population of America is. So they have a different take on it, guys. Maybe, you know what? Maybe it's because he gives them like a lot of problems in the like, we want to do business and have partnerships. And now our partners are concerned because this guy's saying wild shit. And it is making it more, it's giving them more headaches than it is. Like, the UFC is going to be successful no matter what. And so there's the success factor, like Strickland gets some more success, but like not exponentially more because the UFC is already a big brand. But the headache level goes high. Maybe that's what it is. I hope that's not the case. I hope the UFC gets on board. I believe Strickland's like the next Conor if the UFC sees his potential. People rock with Strickland. We got kids at the gym coming up taking pictures with, like, I'm talking about not students at the gym, like people coming to visit the gym with their children so their children can take pictures with Strickland. UFC canceled fan expos for International Fight Week. What? They canceled the fight expos? Wow, dude. Wow, that's wild. Netflix has a huge opportunity to take over. I don't think Hamzat versus Sean 2 will do big numbers. Yeah, I was saying that on the pod today, bro. I was like, what are we gonna do? Hamzat versus Strickland again? And have less beef? We're gonna have less drama? We're gonna have less intensity? Now they're boys? Or what, are they gonna recreate the beef again? It's not over, guys. I just said that. Like, and then Hamzat's gonna go back on what he said and be like, oh, I actually like regret putting the belt on him. Like, what middleweight's cooked. Middleweight is absolutely cooked. And Paulo Costa went up, right? Because like at least he's entertaining. At least he's got a fucking he talks some shit. All right. Yeah, but how do you sell the fight now that now that they smashed the beef? So there's no fight. There's no fight. Well, because for the fight to matter, there needs to be some stakes. There needs to be a reason to tune in. There needs to be a storyline. It needs to mean something. Strickland himself says he doesn't care about the belt. It's another man's title. A man made that title up, and I don't care what another man thinks of me. So it's not about the title, because the title is invaluable per Strickland. Hamzat put the belt on him. So Hamzat's cool. Strickland said Hamzat's a good guy, and that after the fight they've realized that like, oh, it's all good. So what do we go from here? Fucking friendly fight? Like, hey guys, we're gonna fight for no like. At least Imavov is saying that he would have beat Strickland with, I guess, more notice if they would have fought back then, or Imavov is upset that the title fight, he feels like it was robbed from him. That should have been his title fight, him versus Hamzat, which would not have went well for Imavov. But he feels Strickland stole his title. Maybe we could work something up with that, and then Strickland goes back to he pulls it out of the old goat fucker routine. You know what I'm saying? Is that what we're doing for this one? Or maybe here's okay, Imavov versus Strickland. And instead of calling him a goat fucker, he says that he's a traitor. He says he's not a real, I guess, Muslim or wherever he's originally from. And he says that he moved to France and he's a traitor. And then that's and you're not a real man. You left your country. You're a fake Frenchman now. Maybe that's the angle Strickland can take with this guy. And then that guy has to pick between his country of origin and his current residence. And Strickland plays that up, and then this guy doesn't want to have to pick, and it could be, you know what I mean? And now they got a problem with each other. We're pushing it. All right, RDR moved up. Yeah, Sean beat Costa too. Yeah, but at least like Costa looks the part, and fuck you. But yeah, Sean beat him pretty fucking straightforward. Like melted him. Brennan's the only guy Sean hasn't fought. Oh, Barado. Yeah, so maybe it's the fighting nerd versus Sean Strickland. Maybe we'll pull that out of our ass. Maybe that's the play. And the guy could wear the little glasses. But did he leave? Did he leave, or is he still at Fighting Nerds? I still think Sean should just take 8 to 10 months off and see how things sort out the division. Let it breathe. Yeah, maybe somebody gets a win. And now we have a new guy coming up. Maybe Bo Nickel wins at the White House and calls out Strickland. And now we have, listen, man, you fought that Russian wrestler. Now you got to fight a real American wrestler. I'm not that dude that's going to gas, bro. I'm going to take you down and mush your face in the mat. Maybe Bo Nickel calls him out. And even though Bo Nickel is not currently ranked in the top 15, maybe that fight will get him in there, and then the hype will build it up enough, and maybe they shoot Imavov some cash to say that he's injured for the time being, and then let Bo Nickel get his shot because they can build that up if he wins, and if Strickland wins, then at least that one did numbers. I don't fucking know, man. But Bo Nickel's so far out of title contention, it's like, how does that happen? Oh, that rough, you left the Fighting Nerds. Bo Nickel sucks. Everyone hates Bo now. Oh yeah. Well, that can change as well. Like if Bo has an impressive fight and says something compelling on the mic that the people resonate with, people will potentially switch over rather quickly. So, because a lot of people were rocking with Bo, and then Bo got uh, tie clinched, and that didn't go his way with RDR, and then everybody started like, "Oh, bro, we thought you were the hype," but fuck, dude, yeah, middleweight is so cooked. And then this. How good is Marab's fucking cardio? I know him and Peter Yan, and Peter Yan beat him, but like, think about Marab, what he was able to do in these 25-minute fights. Just shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot. And you look at Hamzat gassing in the second. It just makes Marab, in hindsight, look even more impressive. And I got another question. Does that make Marab the best MMA wrestler in MMA? We do this all night, guys. You know what I'm saying? Is Marab the best MMA wrestler out? Because Marab did that to everybody. And then Peter Yan has some good answers for it, but like Marab, unlimited gas tank. Hamzat did all them box jumps. He rode on all those weird little bikes. He had the face mask with the tube, and they were throwing medicine balls against the wall and all that, right? Strickland spars. I don't know, man. Maybe it's not the ultimate box jumping competition. So, anyways, Khabib used to recover in 8 seconds. Khabib's cardio too. Marab didn't even stop against Peter in the second fight. They have ground and pound unlike Hamzat. Dude, yeah, so there's a lot to be said about who is the best MMA wrestler ever. I'd have to go back and watch some fights though. And then in other news, Mike Perry says he respects Nate Diaz, and that's cool, right? I want to see them fight for like a Netflix belt of some sort, like the not the BMF because that's the UFC, and not the King of Violence because that's bare knuckle. But what if we could get like a Netflix belt? I know he said he want the RN belt or something like that, real belt. Uh, Maybe we could get yeah, the strike to set up the takedowns like Hamzat who fights just to wrestle. Oh yeah, yeah. Especially, I feel like Marab does that a lot. Like Marab will break free of a takedown two to strike to get back on a takedown. Like he's very mixing it up in that regard, like a very mixy uppy type of style. And sometimes the takedowns, like he doesn't even force the takedowns. He'll like get in on a shot and be like, "Oh, there's some resistance." He'll let it go, crack, crack, and then he'll go back when there's less resistance. Best NHB wrestler is Randy Couture, uh, in terms of fighting. Yeah, man. Shout out to Randy. Randy's a G, man. I see him at the gym. Dude, Randy's still fucking up there getting after it, doing circuits and shit. He doesn't really train with the team because he's had like a bunch of neck issues. I'm not sure if he had neck surgery or fusions or whatever, but that dude's still getting after it. Hard circuits, circuit training, sit ups with 45-pound plates and like fucking going straight over to rows, to overhead presses, to fucking pull ups or whatever. He's doing hard circuits. So shout out to Randy. And he's always cool as fuck when I see him. If you guys want to go on my Instagram right now, King David MMA, it's me and Randy. I got this belt right here. Shouting out Randy. He's so fucking gracious, man. He shouted me out, man. I'm like, bro, appreciate you, bro. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Plus, Randy has the highest fight IQ in combat sports. Yeah, the dude's a genius. He coaches sometimes too at Extreme. He'll pop in and he'll coach, and it's like, oh, that's how you did that. That's okay. That's all I needed today, bro. Thank you. So, Mike Perry also said that he would have done better sparring Sean Strickland, but he was hungover when they sparred. That's why he didn't look great in the sparring footage. So, Mike Perry is talking about a sparring rematch with Sean Strickland. I don't think that's a good idea for Mike Perry, especially if they video it. I don't know. I'm pretty sure Strickland wasn't going too crazy on him either. So I believe that anytime they spar, Strickland is going to be a very, very problematic matchup for Mike. platinum Perry. So, anyways, guys, that's tonight's stream. I'm going to read the chat one last time. He wasn't the most athletic, fastest, strongest, but by far the smartest. Make sure you guys get your Real One shirts. More importantly than these Real One shirts, send your coach to Studio Millions. We can literally change people's lives. The people who need to learn about martial arts need to hear that there's a gym in their area. And we help martial arts studio owners do that. At one location, we did as much as $2 million in sales. Who's keeping track within 18 months? Whatever, right? That result's not typical, but I'm just saying, like, people came in because we were marketing and we had an entire system and everything's it's on point. And we change people's lives. And you can help change people's lives by sending your coach to studiomillions.com. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you. I'm going to wake up and we're going to be over 500 subscribers. Okay? That's how we do it around here. I go live every day. Make sure your notifications are on. And we're going to start adding even more content. I'm going to actually start posting videos because there's several videos I want to post that are not like live relevant. They're like more evergreen over time. And I just don't want to edit them. I don't want to edit them. But I'm going to edit them. Anyways, guys, have a great night.